नमस्ते, जय हिंद। ये है द अवारा मुसाफिर शो क्लिप्स। बट बिफोर वी साइन ऑफ, आई हैव अ स्मॉल रिक्वेस्ट, क्योंकि बहुत सारे हमारे ऑडियंस में लोग होते हैं जो हर बार मुझसे रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं कि जब भी आप इंटेलेक्चुअल लोगों के साथ में पॉडकास्ट करें, प्लीज़ टेक बुक रिकमेंडेशंस फ्रॉम देम, कि उन्हें कौन सी किताबें वो आजकल पढ़ रहे हैं या कौन सी पसंद आई है जो लोगों को भी पढ़नी चाहिए। तो टीपू सुल्तान तो फॉर श्योर इज देयर एंड योर अदर बुक्स आर एज वेल देयर, बट और कौन सी बुक्स है जो लोगों को पढ़नी चाहिए आपके अकॉर्डिंग? इट कुड बी अबाउट इंडियन हिस्ट्री।
या नहीं, बहुत सारी चीज़ें अभी आ रही हैं. आई थिंक सिंस दिस इज ऑल्सो द टाइम व्हेन very sadly we have lost a great intellectual, Dr. Bibek Debroy. I think लोगों को the kind of treasures he has left behind for us, शायद उनको सारे 18 पुराणों का ट्रांसलेशन उनको करना था, वो कार्य अधूरा रह गया है. बट द इंटायर ट्रांसलेशन ऑफ द महाभारत, समथिंग दैट मनमथनाथ गुप्ता हैड अटेम्प्टेड, आफ्टर दैट नो वन हैज़ डन दिस. सो आई थिंक पीपल शुड रीड also as a tribute to him and also to understand कि किस तरह इन सारे पुराणों और एपिक्स को एक नए पर्सपेक्टिव से उन्होंने ट्रांसलेट किया. So I would recommend, and his books are extremely readable again. Scholarly work, but extremely readable. So as a tribute to the departed soul, I would recommend Bibek Debroy's any book which is so captivating and so interesting.
Yeah. And do you want to talk about the foundation as well? उसमें भी कई सारी किताबें आने वाली है अभी.
जी बिल्कुल. तो या दैट इज़ अनदर थिंग दैट वी स्टार्टेड. मैंने सोचा, स्पेशली जयेश, आफ्टर कोविड में मैं आई वॉज वेरी बैडली अफेक्टेड. आई ऑलमोस्ट नैरोली लॉस्ट माई लाइफ इन द सेकेंड वेव इन 2021. उसके बाद आई थिंक आई एम वेरी डीपली कॉन्शियस ऑफ माई ओन मॉर्टैलिटी. वी ऑलवेज नीड टू बी, वो यक्ष प्रश्न में युधिष्ठिर से यक्ष पूछता है ना, व्हाट इज़ द बिगेस्ट सरप्राइज इन लाइफ. हम सबको पता है कि हमको एक दिन जाना है, पर वी ऑल गो थ्रू लाइफ एज इफ वी विल नेवर डाई. वी मेक प्लान्स फॉर द नेक्स्ट 100 years. So I think this was a jolt which made me realize that anything can happen at any moment, and I'm limited by my capacity, my lifespan, by so many things ki I produce a set of books which hopefully will change the needle, or of how we understand our history, even by a few inches. That is great enough. But how many more, maybe 10, 15, 20 books I may write, I don't know. And जो non-left groups है, उसमें बार बार वी ओनली टॉक ऑफ क्रिटिसाइजिंग द लेफ्टिस्ट हिस्टोरियंस. उन्होंने ये किया, उन्होंने ये किया. ठीक है, उन्होंने जो किया वो किया, पर व्हाट आर यू डूइंग अबाउट इट? वेयर इज द ऑल्टरनेटिव स्कॉलरशिप? सिर्फ रोमिला थापर को गाली देने से कुछ हो नहीं पाएगा. उनकी किताबें, इरफान हबीब हो, रोमिला थापर हो, DN झा जो भी है, उन्हीं की किताबें आज भी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में पढ़ाए जा रहे हैं. वही चीज़ UPSC एग्जाम्स में आ रहे हैं. देयर इज नो ऑल्टरनेटिव हिस्ट्री. सो डिस्टॉर्टेड हिस्ट्री के बारे में विलाप करते रहने से अच्छा है वो करो. पर अरुण शौरी ने 20 years बैक वो एमिनेंट हिस्टोरियंस में ये सारी चीज़ बोल दिया है. उसी को बार बार रिपीट करते रहने से कुछ हासिल नहीं होगा. यू हैव टू क्रिएट alternative scholarship is the only answer to distorted history. So how to create this alternative scholarship, and that's how this idea of this foundation for Indian historical and cultural research came in my mind. And I was very fortunate to have the support of Bhavesh Agarwal, the founder of Ola, who gave support to this project to take off. And it's been a couple of months only. So how do we plan to do this is one arm of this foundation, FIHCR, Foundation for Indian Historical and Cultural Research. The website is also FIHCR.com. Usme the details for those interested are there. But one arm is a fellowship arm. So named after Sir Jadunath Sarkar, the famous nationalist historian of the previous century. Unke naam pe we are giving a fellowship. And this year we've had 8 scholars. और उनको एक अच्छा सा एक stipend, about 15 lakhs per annum, and the ask from them is at the end of it you have to come up with a publish worthy manuscript. So हर साल अगर 8-10 किताबें ऐड होती जाएं इस तरह, तो आप सोचो कि 10 साल में 100 किताबें आ जाएंगी. तो then nobody can say where is the alternative. So that is one arm, and we'll give them mentorship, we'll help them get it published and all of that. Then also we are incubating projects in universities. We've started one with the prestigious Nalanda University, where we are trying to look at a multidisciplinary team. A historian uses archives and primary sources in languages we don't understand. मॉडर्न हिस्टोरियन को संस्कृत, पर्शियन, Arabic, Pali, Prakrit, ये सारी भाषाएं आती नहीं है. You're using Western translations or someone else's translations, which may or may not be accurate. So can we go back to the primary sources with somebody who knows the language? So that's how we have made this working project group, where a modern historian has a Sanskrit Pandit, a Prakrit scholar, an archaeologist, maybe a geologist, if geneticist may be needed somewhere. So in Nalanda, we are investigating the rise and fall of Buddhism in India, where along with me, there's a Pali, Prakrit, Tibetan scholar, there is a Sanskrit Pandit, there's an archaeologist, and together we will investigate by going to the primary sources ourselves. And the outcome will be a book series, journal articles, and all of that. So the projects is another team. The third vertical is called Yuva, where Indian history को, we are a land of storytellers, पर it's such a travesty कि इतिहास को जब पढ़ाया जाता है स्कूलों में, it becomes one of the most boring.
Absolutely.
रट्टा मारो, फिर you know puke in exams and make some marks, and you know उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता कौन सी सदी में किसने क्या लड़ाई लड़ी, इसके बाद कौन आया. It's just a rote learning. So can we make Indian history interesting, exciting, inspiring, particularly for young people? So Yuva handles that 6 to 12 or 12 to 20 age group में. In fact, we've just rolled out Sri Aurobindo के नाम पे एक essay competition for people of children of 6th to 9th grade, and we want to publish some of these essays that will come. So details are on the website. Everyone can apply freely. So this Yuva was another thing. So can we make animated videos, Instagram reels? It should be researched content, but speak to this new generation in the language that they understand. So that is one vertical. Then the fourth one is conservation and archiving. You know, it's very important that we use modern technology. अभी AI का ज़माना है, तो टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करके किस तरह से manuscripts could be digitized, translated, preserved. That is the other vertical, where already I had established something called the Archive of Indian Music, which is probably India's first digital sound archive for vintage gramophone recordings. We have collected about 15,000 gramophone records from 1902, which range from classical music, folk music, theatre recordings, early cinema, voices of leaders, Gandhi and Tagore and Subhash Bose and others. Or SoundCloud पे अगर आपके दर्शक, if they type Archive of Indian Music, this is freely available, about 4,000 tracks, freely available from the confines of your home. You can listen to this. So along with audio digitization and preservation, even textual preservation, we want to see how we can marry technology with historical artifacts and make it accessible to people. So it's a very vast gamut of things that the foundation FIHCR is trying to do. We have a very dedicated team of people, 8 of us, who are trying to put this together. And it's just, we've not even finished 6-7 months of operation. Already a lot of work has happened. और आशा करते हैं कि we are able to make some significant impact in the field of Indian historiography.
Can you also tell people कि कौन सी books आने वाली है in the मतलब lineup, अगर कोई बन गया हो तो वो बता सकते हो?
हाँ, अभी जो 8 fellows हैं, and one more fellow who's part of the Kudali Samsthan का एक fellowship में. So Aarti Tiku, the journalist, she is writing about Nehru's India and Modi's Bharat. So 2 longest serving prime ministers. What were the comparison of their administration on various issues? Then there is Arshia Malik, who's talking about Indian Muslims and how they can integrate into the modern Indic Renaissance today. Shan Kashyap, who's doing something very interesting on the history of the history textbook controversy. So right from 1870, I believe there were lots of controversies around this. Then there is Soumya Day, Professor Soumya Day, who's in the Rishihood University, who's doing something on Hindu idea of kingship, or the Indic idea of kingship, which is not necessarily always oppressive. It's also for welfare. So that, and Dr. Lakshmi Arya, who's a Dean of History at RV University in Bangalore, who is writing on essential religious practices, and does every culture need to have a religion? But today, even in courts, Sabrimala में हमने देखा कि you need, everything is a religion, show us the text. Ours is not a documented civilization like that when it comes to matters of religion. So something around that she's doing. Then Nabarun Barua, who's writing something on the Northeast. Now the Northeast also never features in our larger Indian history. So Assam, Kamrup ka itihas before the advent of the Ahoms. He's doing something on that. Then Chandrachur Ghosh, who's already a very famous author on Netaji.
He's our guest.
Next guest,
we are recording
we should ask him about this then. He's doing something again interesting on the Bengali Renaissance and to the communist takeover in Bengal.
Okay.
So where is the creation of a Bengali identity that is coming in this place? And Jasraj Singh, who's doing the history of how this whole idea of this Khalistan and all is an antithesis to Sikh tradition, where it's very closely intertwined with Sanatan Dharma. Okay. So again, he's a Sikh in Patiala, and he's actually going to the original Gurumukhi mein jo texts hai to see that the Sikh gurus were all praising Ram and Durga and all our gods. Right. So where is this division happening? And the other person as part of the Kudali Samsthan, Pratishtha Mukherjee, who is again a assistant professor in Rishihood, she's doing something on temples as a seat of Bharatiya culture. So I think it's a very diverse mix of this thing. So hopefully by August, September 2025, we'll have all of these manuscripts ready, and you'll have more guests on your podcast thanks to that.
I think if I had to put it in the modern pop culture wale terms, this is the Avengers of historians, Avengers team of historians.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, but Mr. Vikram Sampath, thank you so much इस podcast के लिए, इस पूरे experience के लिए, and thank you so much for writing such amazing books. I want to end this podcast on one line जो मैंने आपके एक fan के through देखी थी, wherein he wrote, first we had Jadunath Sarkar, then we had R.C. Mazumdar, and today we have Vikram Sampath.
Arre baap re.
So thank you so much.
Two big shoes to fill in. Yeah. I hope even little bit of their legacy, if I can cover in my life, I'd think of myself as being fortunate.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jayesh. Loved talking to you.
Same
Thank
here.
you.